like 3 minutes ago. Because Dan, you got Instagram taken care of, right?
Yes.
When you put it on the story, by the way, make sure you link it. Not
Yeah.
not just text, because people can't click on that.
How do you link it?
You just go, you know, where you add like a GIF and stuff like that. It's the same thing. You just scroll down until you find link, and then you paste it in there, and it comes up, and people can click on it.
I see. Okay.
Hello, Jordan.
You got it, Dan?
On Instagram?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Well, I'll
It's pretty
try
easy.
All right, go get that YouTube. See if you can see it.
Yeah, you're gonna
bit of a
copy the.
bit
All
of a boomer. So
right, you're good. Copy the
And you
link.
are a boomer.
I
You're
did
good.
copy the link.
All right, post a story, and you're gonna press the
Well, I
little
need the
smiley.
do I need the thing or no?
What thing?
The thumbnail.
I mean, you don't need it. You can just
Okay.
say like, "Go get that live." So you
I
see the
can see it, by the
smiley.
way.
I'll
I
take a
clicked on the
photo
link
of
and I can see it.
Okay.
everybody smile. Smile for the camera.
Do you see the smiley?
Oh, that's horrible. Hold on a second.
I'm like frozen on the YouTube video, by the way. Completely frozen.
Nice.
You got it, Dan?
I see the
You see the smiley at the
I do
top?
see the smiley.
Click that,
Hmm.
and you'll see a bunch of options, and
Ah,
link is in
link.
there. Link. There you go.
Paste.
Well done.
Keep in mind, Golf Digest 50 minutes ago posted just another like Spieth Grand Slam thing, and Mr. Schlaber 12 minutes ago replied yes to is this the
Let's please get Mr. Schluber on
he can
today.
be on.
I want to hear his formula.
Yes, we will send the link, but it cannot go over like an hour 15 because
You tell him. I got it. I'm good.
yeah.
All right,
I got
Instagram
it.
story up.
Oh, cool. Let me put it in
Beautiful
mine.
picture of Mr. Blue.
Oh, flattering, Dad. Thank you.
Of course.
Come join us. Can I add to my story? No. You can tag me, Dan. Darn it.
I again, boomer.
Boomer. It's fine.
Does
No, I
Dan
take
not, you don't know how technology works, Dan?
No, I do. I'm just dumb.
All right, now that I posted on my Twitter, I should be able to get the thumbnail because
Can I add
um
mentions?
my
Yeah,
YouTube
try that.
Studio app has gone woke.
Go woke. Get that.
Yes, my YouTube Studio app must be getting bent in the near future.
How about that, Jordan?
Let's see here. Ooh, I got a little. Uh, yes. Thank you.
Look at that. Major. Onions.
Screw the econ major, Dan. You got social media major in over you.
Yes, Daniel.
Yeah.
Well,
It's actually funny because my roommates are working on creating some social media stuff right now.
There you
Content.
go. Pitching.
I'm sad that it's gonna play easy.
I
How
mean,
easy do
every
you think
every
it'll play?
single winner here has been in double digits, so it was always going to play easy. And it's even going to play even easier with the rain, but it was always going to play easy. Valhalla is not Oak Hills.
Like this kind of reminds me, yeah, this kind of reminds me of like a BMW championship.
Well, it's like, I mean, it's the probably the closest course comp is Quail Hollow, and
No, lovely.
Rory won that at like what?
18.
Yep.
Yeah, but the guy, I think maybe it was Thomas was saying that it's kind of hard to separate yourself out here. Like there's only one way to play it, which is long, which is just straight, you know, middle fairway, middle green, make some putts.
well, good thing Jay Spieth is very good at that.
Sounds like Brooks Koepka to me.
Yeah.
It
But
does.
there's
It
one
sounds
way
like
to
Brooks
play
Koepka
every
or Scotty
PGA.
Scheffler. It sounds like people who know how to hit the required golf shot, which is
Exactly.
great news for Jordan Spieth.
Yeah. He can find any semblance of patience.
Dan, can
he'll win
you
that.
on the spot pull up the last time you believe Jordan Spieth hit the required golf shot correctly?
For a whole tournament you're talking about, right?
Just one hole.
Oh,
Just
just
one.
How far back into the Wells Fargo Championship do you have to go?
one properly played hole.
Yes, completely.
18 on Sunday. The last hole he played.
I didn't watch 18 on
Fairway.
Yeah,
Sunday.
18. Yeah.
Fairway, 30 feet on the green from 220, pours it in.
Okay,
He's back.
all right. That actually
Back
was
like he never left. He's winning.
all right. You
The problem is the turn. Like he hasn't played the proper
But
golf shots the whole tournament. There's always
well,
like
right, because
yeah. And
as
when was the
Elise
last time he's played the required golf shots for a whole tournament?
as Elise is saying, literally 20 minutes before that birdie, he went full golly,
That case.
just alpha rage on
Dan,
17. Yes.
I'm actually a little bit more. He's not one of my picks, obviously, but I'm a little bit more optimistic about Jay Spieth.
I am too.
on.
Did you watch the presser,
I-
Bob? Watch the presser, folks. You'll get pumped. You'll get hyped.
I actually have statistics that back it up too.
He is good from, well, yeah. I'll
He's
save these points, but
he's actually lucky. There's not going to be a lot of witches.
yeah, no, exactly.
That's true. And he's long enough now
Yeah,
for this kind of test where because he's driving the ball greater than like
There's
Hmm.
still probably 10 to 15 guys I'd take over him.
of
But-
course. But
There's actually this
has-
cool little stat I found on the PGA Tour website that I used a little bit. It's called average distance after going for the green shot. Pretty cool stat.
interesting.
It is. Spieth is number one. No, kidding. Ludwig is number one.
shouldn't we like start this for real? Or are we
Yeah, hold on one second.
Second to last, Rick Flower.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome. Dude, why? Who told me
I-
to play him last week?
You played him on your own accord.
That's not true. I mean, I did enter. I was gonna go. We'll get into the triple double stuff, but
I mean, I was way wrong
we-
on Ben on,
yeah.
but Jordan was right to ignore me on that one.
yeah, well, because Bob and I were gonna play the exact same plays,
Thank
and
God
then
he
Bob
didn't play
just put him in
Rory.
first.
Well, I mean, Dan, great alpha minds think
I
alike.
know, but so then I was like, well, okay, so I have to deviate, and I got a whopping 150 grand out of 3 guys in the signature event.
I told you to go Fleetwood.
What'd he
That's like a
finish?
safe. He finished like T13. That's like always
That's
a
good
safe
cash.
bet to finish in the top like 20.
Yeah, but I
Fleetwood
could have.
is
I was gonna play McElroy.
Thank God you didn't.
Oh my lord,
deep
Jason
trouble.
Day. Every day, Jason Day just brings out just another just.
crazy outfit.
The folks at Malbon.
I mean, congrats to Malbon on like be able to successfully like float above profiting lines. I don't know how that happens, but congrats to them. All right,
Elise,
we
have you ever been to the Czech Republic?
Wait, what?
Have you ever been to the Czech Republic?
Yes, many times.
Interesting. I'm having a dark Czech style lager. Don't
My
know if I
husband's
like it or
Czech.
not. Interesting. So he's probably had something like this many of times.
Yeah, probably. I mean, but Pilsner Urquell is the beer to drink.
Interesting.
Plus, it's dirt cheap in the Czech Republic, so the beer is cheaper than water.
Bob, do you know where
Because
free-
of course in Europe you have to pay for all your water, so you don't just get like a free
Mhm.
water if you're drinking. You have
Yes,
to
yes,
literally,
Jordan,
and
what'd you
it's
say?
tiny. The water you get is like this small. I'm not even kidding.
do you know where Framingham, Massachusetts is?
yes,
You do?
yes,
Interesting. This is where this is brewed in Framingham.
really.
Yes, sir. Jack
You are at Alpha Male.
Jack's Abbey Brewing.
Yes, I have
Is it a
I
donkey
I have
town?
seen that in a store before. I've of course never bought it or drank it,
Decent
but
beer.
Is it a
I've
nice
seen it in a store
town,
before.
Bob, or is it a dump town? Like,
Framingham?
yeah.
Framingham is a mall, which is like the only
Oh,
reason you ever
okay.
go to Framingham, the Framingham Mall. Like that's the only reason you ever go to Framingham.
Is it
Like
like
they
country
have a
zone?
they have like one of the like they have one of the biggest malls like in the country. Like it's
Okay.
like there are a million stores in that place. But that is the only reason you go to Framingham.
And to drink beer, I guess.
Apparently. But that would make sense that there's like a brewer out there because like the place besides the mall is just nothing. So, all right, let me just. Did you tag me, Dan? No, you didn't. Just a beautiful picture of me, I guess. Nice. Well done.
I will
Okay.
add you to the mentions.
Are you able to do that?
Yes.
You can do that post. That's fire.
Want me to do Speed Legion?
And look, yeah, you can do my B Blue Sports as well.
I'll do that one as well. Should
Yeah.
I do it to Shoffley Legion? Just kidding.
Yes, of course. You can do it to Mr. Slaver as well. As Mr. Slaver will join us
Yes.
later. All right.
All right.
I think we are good to go.
Do it.
Yeah. Who wants to start us off? Anyone? I'll start us. That's fine. I didn't start us
Okay.
last time, so
I'll
right.
do
Yeah, get
the
on.
live. I'll do the
Yeah.
live slam pod. Start.
You want to start, Dan?
No.
Okay, I'll start then. Looks like we are good to go then. Jordan, do you have permissions?
Yeah. Ready?
Let's go.
Oh, do I? Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to the Go Get That podcast. This is our third go at the slam for a podcast, I believe.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
Sounds correct.
So far, I'm pretty sure we're over 2, but that could change this week. So, episode 122. Welcome everyone in. It's a great week to have a great week. I mean, it's the best week to have a great week, actually, if you want to be literal. This is the week that Spieth fans live for. This is the week that I live for. And even though the Masters has that just like aura around it, the PGA Champ brings hype for us for a different reason. And that's because every time a PGA Championship comes around, Jordan Spieth has a chance to embark on history that very few have ever done. Now, Dan brought this to light before the show that 2 years ago we titled our PGA Championship podcast, "Is This Year Too Good to Be True?" Well, I don't think that will be the title of this podcast, but you never know. You never know. We have Elise with us, obviously, as we are graced with her presence. Thank you for coming on, of course. It's yeah, I mean it's another major, right? And it's been and Jordan Spieth's lowest of lows. He performed in the majors, and in recent years, as his game has been better, a lot of majors we felt have gotten away, and he hasn't really given himself many good chances. So we'll see how this week we'll dive into we'll dive into how we feel like his chances are this week. Of course, looks to be playing a little bit easier than recent venues. Looks like the heavy detrimental rough is not as in play as recent years, but Valhalla, it has some pretty cool moments in its history. Obviously, Tiger. In 2000, you have Rory winning in the dark against Mickelson and Richard Fowler. Important to note. So yeah,
Exciting.
very.
I was thinking you mentioned Speed's got a chance to make history. And maybe this is not good of me, but can you name the 5 men that he would join?
Okay, it's Tiger Jack.
I'll help you
Arnold
if you can't.
Palmer. Not Faldo.
Did Palmer win the slam?
No.
No, Palmer did not win the
I
slam.
thought it was
Trevino, right?
Trevino, yep.
No Trevino.
No, I
No,
thought it was Hogan,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Hogan.
Trevino didn't.
Sarazen,
Yep.
Yep.
Player,
Oh yeah,
Nicholas
player. Yep.
Woods.
Yep.
Player
Speed.
did? That was the one I was missing then. I switched player for Trevino then.
It's tricky. It's an elite list.
Trevino's just
It's an elite
missing the
list.
Masters.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Does Spieth belong on that list?
Yes.
I mean, we were talking about this at the end of the day. Like, we talked about it in a little more dark sense, but I think all of us here would trade a PGA this week for almost a negative career for years to come. I mean, you win this week, and his career is essentially set in stone, right? Like his legacy will be the career Grand Slam. If he wins this week, no matter what he does the rest of his career. So,
I'd absolutely sign up for a win this week, season-ending surgery, and him riding off into the sunset and never playing again.
well,
never playing again.
playing again would be
That'd be tough to
unfortunate,
swallow.
but I mean,
I'd
you have
sign
to
up
look at it
that
this
right
way,
now,
right?
though.
Like,
The podcast ends.
Yeah, I know.
If you're-
Who do we follow? Shoffley?
well, I mean,
Oh,
Oh,
Bear?
another second place finish.
well, we could
Shucks.
Ludwig.
Mickelson, he's on the up and come.
Chris
Um,
Kim.
Oh no, Blades Brown.
yes,
Blades Brown. Was
Blades
2016-year-old.
I'm on team Chris Kim. I'd like
Chris
to stick
Kim.
with Under Armour, our good friends over there.
Mm.
Chris Kim, one of the superior Under Armour athletes, of course. But yeah, I mean, you look at it this way, like if Spieth wins the Grand Slam on Sunday and never wins again, in 100 years, it'll be tough to imagine him if he doesn't win the Grand Slam this year. It'll be tough to imagine a path to a better career. You know what I mean? Like we've already talked about, like he's at the age now where winning a Grand Slam is winning the Grand Slam is less likely than it is likely. That's just where we are. Majors are hard to win. And he's only got probably 12 tries left. At legit PGA contention. So it's tough to imagine a career where he like I don't know how many majors do you trade, right? Like if he wins 3 more majors but never wins the PGA, I think that's about even. I don't see him winning 4 more majors. So
I think it
One would be a
depends
nice
on-
start.
I think if he
Yeah.
got to 7 majors and never won the PGA, that would be better than having 4 or than having the Grand Slam.
So yeah, he'd probably.
I don't think
trade-
having the Faldo career path is better than if Spieth wins this week. So, yeah, I mean, we'd all trade just about anything in the career of Jordan Spieth for a win this week and any PGA. So that's where we stand right now. But there's a lot to dive into. There's a lot of talking points.
Well, would you trade a Rangers Stanley Cup for the Spieth Grand
for the
Slam?
PGA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd trade anything.
The Celtics could blow a 3-1 lead to the Cavs for a
Yes.
season.
I was actually given this the other day. I was given guaranteed Arsenal won the Prem, but the Rangers don't win the cup. And I think I'd answer yes actually to that, even just because I don't think the Rangers are going to win the cup anyways. I'd want it to be in the next round. I don't think mentally I could handle choking 3-0. I mean, that puts the Rangers in history in itself. Would I trade the Rangers losing 3-0 first beat slam? That's about as far as I'd go. That would be the hardest decision for me to trade the speed. I would do it. But that would be as hard as it would get for me. I mean, that would our friend Mr. Schlaber will be joining us soon, and God help me if the Rangers choke a 3-0 lead because he will let me hear that till the end of time. So, um, yes, I mean, Dan obviously has uh a good sporting life right now with the I think the Celtics are like plus 140 to win the NBA finals right now. But um Dan would I'd assume you'd trade it. I mean the
Yeah.
NBA is meaningless anyway, it's horrible league. But
Oof.
Jeez.
Dan, well
That's just
I'd
yeah,
assume
of
you trade the world championship for
course.
Slam. Yeah. I don't think anyone on
I'd
Dan,
trade I'd trade Tatum for the Slam.
yeah, I think you asked the wrong person, at least, because I think the hardest one would be Jordan. I think Jordan. Would you
Me?
trade a Ravens Super Bowl for?
I mean, not
Um.
the flex, but yes, having been to a Super Bowl, I would trade.
Well, yes. Okay.
Yeah. I have
I mean,
six.
What
I'd
about no
trade.
more Ravens Super Bowls in your lifetime for the
oh,
Slam?
that would be tough. I don't know
Yeah,
if
Oh,
I
dude,
could
it'd be
do
the
that. Oh
Slam.
my God.
It'd be the Slam.
I mean, I'd be Tato
Okay.
basically.
I mean,
I'd be
these
a
are all great
loser with no
hypotheticals,
team.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I like. Listen,
but does he even have a shot this week?
yeah. See, that was the funniest part is when my friends asked me, when I asked my friends if I could have one of the three, Arsenal, Rangers, or Speed Slam. Like you look at like Arsenal's like they're one day. Obviously, it's like they're like 10-1 right now, given the situation that has to happen, and the Rangers are still not even out of the second round. But like those are two of the best teams in the world at their sport, and you're looking at Jordan Spieth, who's currently sitting like 40th in the DG rankings. Like they're very different
35th.
scenarios going on right
Yeah.
now. Like the chances of each of those happening are very different. So I but I think the consensus at the end of the day is like there's about even the fact that Jordan, and I don't know if you guys know, but Jordan loves the Ravens more than most people I know love any team.
Do love
So
my
it for
Ravens.
him to even not shut that down immediately, it it speaks to how many things we would do for Speed to win, not even this week, just to slam in general in his career. So, um, listen, I heard from a bunch of people on the ground. He played 9 holes today. He only missed one fairway. Um,
Ooh.
I don't think that's something that's surprising. Given the way he's been driving it.
How many greens did he miss?
Uh, didn't ask. I heard he had a good shot on 14, which is a tough par three. Unfortunately, it was his third
Chills.
attempt at the tee shot.
Okay, take some
But
time.
so listen, we know the wrist is a thing, right? And we know he's been struggling on all shots where he's had to hit down on the ball, right? Obviously, the driver's easy to not think about the wrist because you're hitting up on the ball. You really don't need to use the wrist at all, besides your normal technical motion. The thing that makes using the wrist so hard is that driving a ball into the ground is not something the body physically is supposed to be doing. Like turning over your wrist is something that the body does normally. So obviously hitting down the ball, those shots are going to be more difficult. And it's been a struggle. The short game and the irons it's been bad. Um, and more not, it's not that he's not making birdies, it's that he's making so many bogeys. He's bailing out of so many shots. And I I'll be honest, based on what I've heard, it seems like it's going to be a 15 under winner this week. So it, there's enough tough holes out here where you're just not going to be able to get away with 3-4 bogeys around and expect to be anywhere near contention. So he's going to have to play well. Um, he's going to have to make a lot of pars. And he just has not been doing that recently. Jordan, how many drop shots did he have in the second and third round combined? It was what, like 15, something like that.
Something. I know he had 8 in the
He had 8, and then he had
76.
like 2 doubles on Saturday. It was like it's too many drop shots. Like there's too many squares on the scorecard. Um, which leads me to believe, kind of. I want to hear your take on this too, as well. But like, it seems to me that the wrist is more of a mental thing than a physical thing, Like it feels like the wrist is something that hurts. There's a big difference between hurting and it being completely injured to the point where it's affecting what you're doing. It just seems like he's bailing out of lost shots, which I'm not blaming him for. Like, I mean, that's like obviously like pain is pain, but it seems like it's definitely more of a mental issue than it is a physical issue. And it's just that's the unfortunate state of where we're at.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I think there's something to be said though, mechanically, and maybe it's mentally
Oh
bleeding
yeah,
into
for
the
sure, for sure.
mechanics
The,
that
the
like,
swing is not good with the irons. I'm not going to sit here and say that it is,
well,
but
particularly the short irons. I
yeah,
think he gets a little late and a little stuck, and then you get the flip of the hands, or you just get the block right. Um, Long irons have been better than adequate, which, as I think Jordan will touch on at some point, is a good thing for this week. There's a lot of long iron shots here at Valhalla, but yeah, I think there's he's stuck in a swing thought, and the scoring clubs have suffered because of that, and the short game's just been bad. It was okay last week, but that's not good enough for his. It was not okay in Spieth standards. It was okay in PGA Tour standards, and that's not going to cut it, especially given how poor the rest of the iron play is. But we'll see. I mean, it'd be nice if he made some putts this week. That hasn't happened in a major very often, particularly on Thursday. Right? I think he putted well at the Masters in 23, but he made a lot on Sunday. So we'll see. Plenty. I think Wells Fargo gave me at least a little bit of hope that like he could play decently, but obviously still a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. And there's too many guys, I think, playing some really, really good golf.
Well said. But yeah, you mentioned it. Probably a little bit more optimistic now regarding this week than I was last night. Did some digging. Um, did a little model. He's where is he? Where is he? 16th. Um, three of the four main approach stats. He kind of, checks the above average box in three of them, which is kind of what I'm looking at. Got to be above average, I think, have a good week, with that stat. So that's really good. I kind of just looked at the long irons. It's kind of been mentioned by the players. It's going to be a ton of them. Um, so 175 to 200, 200 to 225, 220 to 225 to 250. And then I did a new stat that I found on the website called average distance after going for the green shot, where he's also above average. So that's good. The only place where he's below average is 175 to 200. The other three is above average, which is nice. Probably wouldn't have thought that, but that's kind of the golfer he is right now. He's just a really bad wedge player. Thankfully, he's not going to have to hit a lot of wedges this week, which is really nice because he's not a good wedge player right now, somehow, some way. But with the longer clubs, he's been pretty good. I mean, let's be honest here. There's going to be probably some iron swings that make us shake our heads because that's just what he showed us as of late. You can't really expect different, but his numbers in those categories aren't too bad, which is kind of surprising. He keeps it in the fairway. Who knows? Who knows? Don't find the penalty area would be really nice. And yeah, kind of as Dan said, make some putts. He hasn't really putted well in a major since what, the Masters last year, which isn't
Yeah.
too long ago, but I mean that's the Masters. He puts there pretty well historically. Um, hasn't putted well at a US Open or a PGA in many, many, many moons.
Well, that's
So
one of the other things I was wanted to look up was the last time he started under par at a non-open Masters. So the last time he started in a good spot at the PGA or US Open. And off the top of my head, it's probably been quite a few years. Maybe Bethpage in 19. Unless one of those US Opens was pretty easy, but even then, I doubt it. And just a thought on Spieth and kind of the course that's interesting. And I'm sure Elise knows a lot more about like the course comp stuff as well, but a lot of the courses that this place is comp to are not speed golf courses. To like not classic speed golf courses, not the Colonials or the Augusta Nationals or the Kapaluas. These are very I called it like BMW Championship type golf courses, your caves, valleys. Um, Trying to think of even like Olympia Fields a little bit. You get the
It's really like a traditional PGA course setup, really long, 7,600 yards, requires very good ball striking, like a very good driver, very good mid-long irons. It's really plays really kind of, it's going to play like pretty much like a standard PGA and US Open, and that those majors he hasn't been very good at
yeah,
all.
and
Like
and
you look at his Wikipedia results on those, and it's like there's not that much yellow there.
yeah. And to that point, though, I guess what might, I mean, I'm always full of optimism when it comes to Jordan Spieth, but what might give you a little bit more optimism is that this is not a very classic Jordan Spieth statistical profile this season. He's a different player than what he was obviously in 15 through 17, but even kind of before then with the short irons being a really good strength, making putts, but giving him, keeping it in play off the tee and giving himself opportunities in that way. Whereas now he's bombing it off the tee, hitting a lot of fairways, which is nice. And I think will be really important this week because it's supposed to be wet. And so lift clean in place will probably be in effect because nobody likes a mud ball, at least on tour, I suppose.
Ooh.
And so you'll probably be playing, if you're playing out of the fairway, you get to, ball in hand, and that's a big advantage.
Eli's, baby.
And
Just important to note that tomorrow the ball's being played down at whatever
yeah,
courses
of
are being
course.
played in the world. Just wanted to put
Yes.
that out there. Just wanted to put that out.
And so I think there is an avenue for a decent week this week, just because he's
Yeah.
a different player. But
All
that's
right, I'm
kind
gonna
of
be
interesting.
pretty like this is pretty simple. It's not, but I'm gonna basically steal what Jordan said. Like it's a pretty easy formula to having a good week. Now this isn't gonna get him a win because he's still gonna make bogeys that he never should. But the the formula to a good week this week is keep driving to quote the piss out of the ball and just don't miss from short range. Like that is the formula to a good week this week. That if he does that, it's got to be a top 15. Like
Yeah.
there's no way it's not. It's a driver's golf course. You have to have distance to half the field is already eliminated based on distance at this golf course. He doesn't even need to hit it completely straight. You just can't drive it off the planet. Which he hasn't been doing. His bad drives have been limited to decent misses, and that's what you got to do here. The first cut rough is not bad here. So that's the formula. You don't miss from short range and keep driving it the way you have, and the irons won't be as penal as Wells Fargo. So that's the formula to a good week. Now winning, a lot more needs to be done. Obviously, he's gonna need to not make any sloppy bogey because the irons are gonna switch overnight, right? He's gonna need to for him to win this week. He needs to literally get up and down from everywhere. Like he has to bring back prime Jordan Spieth short game and do the things we already talked about. So, but to have a good week, there's definitely a path to a good week. Definitely.
You mentioned short game and the up and downs. The up part hasn't been very good, and I feel like last week the numbers were okay, but there were a few missed kind of putts inside of 8 feet that particularly in round one, that kind of stalled out his round. And then early in round four, missed back-to-back putts inside of 6 feet on 5 and 6, I believe. And those putts obviously can't be dropping shots that way. Particularly if people are going to be making birdies like it looks like they are going to this week. I mean, I don't think we have much reason to think that something special is going to happen other than you just are hoping that he just pops and this is just the best week of his season by a lot and you see what happens. But there's at least a little glimmer maybe that it could happen, which I guess given how it was after missing the cut at the second major at Ranch, it's nice to at least have the tiniest bit of optimism, realistic optimism. I'm full of general optimism.
Why be pessimistic when you can be optimistic?
Exactly, and it's Jordan Spieth.
Yeah,
surprising in a lot of ways.
I mean, he said today he wouldn't be shocked if he played really well this week.
I wouldn't
He
be
said
either.
he's just waiting for one of those weeks where he plays well.
Yeah. Good grouping too. He gets to watch Brooks go fairway, center green all day. That'll be
You gotta watch.
Yeah.
How much does Brooks Spieth buy on Thursday?
Spieth beats Brooks on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Just
Surprise.
disclaimer. Dan is mentally ill. Dan has a disease. Dan is not well.
Oh, poor Dan.
But in all seriousness, for me, and we'll get into this later, but Brooks is pretty hit or miss for me this week. Like,
really,
it seems like he's kind of found his game, but I expect deep contention from him or a Masters performance, essentially.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's either got it or he doesn't. Like, he's not gonna finish T30. Like, he's gonna play like crap the first two. Like, we'll know based on the first 25 holes. I don't want to say 18 because you can kind of just hang around there and then the second round will kind of just flop up. But through 25 holes, we'll know exactly what Brooks Koepka's story will be this week.
Well,
I wish we could say the same about Jordan Spieth every week. I wish we'd know how things were going to go after 25 holes, but we don't.
I think you kind of know sometimes.
Well, you know when it's bad.
If the wheels are going to fall off the wagon, though.
But when you don't think the wheels are going to fall off the wagon through 25 holes, sometimes they still do.
True. Since you went to Koepka, I have a few things that I wanted to, just some questions I wanted to float.
Yes.
I think there's a clear like big three favorites. I mean, I know Schauffele's technically there, but Rory, Scotty, Brooks seem to be the like three guys. They've all won in their last starts, all coming in with different circumstances. So I want, do you guys each want to rank them 1, 2, 3? Who do you think in terms of who finishes highest, who you like the most this week? And I can start while you think about it if you need time.
I can go.
Okay.
You said Scotty, Brooks, Xander?
No. Rory.
Scotty, Brooks, Rory.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott. I think my order is the same for how I like and how I think they finish. I think Scotty should finish the highest. Brooks second, Rory third.
Okay. Interesting.
That's how I see it.
I have it. You have Brooks, Scotty, Rory?
No, Scotty, Brooks, Rory.
Okay.
I don't think there's a world where you can put Scotty not first.
There is.
I haven't.
I have a lackluster showing out of Scotty Scheffler this week.
That's fair.
Bob and I have on the same page.
I have Scotty Scheffler probably winning Pinehurst by 7-8 shots.
Yeah.
But right now his mind is, dude, he didn't touch a golf club for 2 weks. Maybe. Like he's going to play well. Like he's too God-givenly talented to not. But to win a PGA or US Open, you have to be so sharp. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you think he won't be sharp?
What?
But his floor, so
putting, I don't think his putting will be nearly like it was. I just think his irons that were 10 feet at the Masters will be 15, 17 feet here. and that's a big difference. I think he's gonna finish T15, T20.
Ooh,
So I think it's more like T8, but I agree. Like I think
Well,
there's
it depends how it spreads out, right? Like I have him finishing 6-ish shots back.
okay.
Like if it's
That's
spread
fair.
out like that, and it's like a guy, and it's like if Valhalla really spreads out the field,
Which it's
like
not.
I have Scotty Scheffler finishing like 9 under par for the week. If that's T8, that's T8.
Right.
Assuming the winner's 15.
Okay.
Obviously, I already said I have the winner at 15.
Yeah.
But damn, we're pretty much.
I think I've got him a shot. Whatever the leader's pace is, I've got him about a shot off of that per round. So at the end, 4 shots back.
Yeah,
Which
I
crazy floor, right?
of the 4, I have. And yes, I'm adding Xander in here because I'm trying to think.
Xander's 4.
I disagree.
The other 3 guys have way more winning upside than Xander.
That's
Right.
true. But
Hence why
Xander has
But-
quite the T2 upside.
Right.
does Rory
Xander
really
has
have the
what?
winning
I mean,
upside?
so Xander and
I don't
Scotty
know,
have
man.
a
I
really
don't
high
know.
floor. The thing is, like with this whole thing, is like Scotty and Xander, in all likelihood, are definitely going to finish in the top 20. Are Rory and Brooks like they're either going to win or they're going to be like T40?
Well,
I have Brooks quite literally 1 or.
Yeah.
Like he's first or second, or he's by far the worst.
Exactly. Yep.
Um.
So that's why I don't know how you can pick Brooks first because you like Scotty's definitely going to get you at least a top 10.
well,
Jordan
you guys are
and I
playing
have
like
very
game theory here. I'm just saying I think Brooks wins and I think Rory's right there.
Yeah,
I think it's a Brooks
Jordan
Rory.
and
Like
I
that's
have
my
very similar
stick.
agendas. With Rory and Xander, we both think Xander's a loser, and we both think Rory is not meant for the big moments anymore.
I'm not picking either this week in my
That's
top
not
3.
that's not the case with Rory.
I feel like Rory and
He-
Xander this week are
Dude, putting them
gonna
in the
make
same
some
sentence is
noise.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
After Rory just put him in a body bag on Sunday, beat him by 8 on the back 9.
Rory's the
Yeah,
most
but
consistent, like best.
Xander played against Prime Tiger, so like,
But he is prime Tiger.
no,
He's no longer with his
the thing
wife.
about Rory is
Like-
that
Ooh.
it's just I think
He's
Rory
got family
this
issues.
this week, Rory is just going to be so more locked in.
Yeah.
I have a pretty. I have a random winner winning this week. I don't think the
Intriguing.
court. I don't think the course. It's not going to be. I think if it's not Brooks, it's going to be one of the mid guys. I think it's going to be like a Wyndham Clark, something like that. And not that Wyndham Clark's mid by any means, but I don't think it's going to be one of the big 4 if it's not Brooks. That's what I'm
I
saying.
kind of have a mid guy as part of my go get that picks, so this will be fun.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yes. I love Wyndham Clark this week. Wyndham,
Couple actually.
I love Brian Harmon this week. No, I'm kidding. Unfortunately,
Always
Brian
love Harmon.
I just don't think he's got the distance to win.
No.
He does not have the distance.
I don't think he's been playing.
But he could thrust his way there. You never know. I mean,
Agreed. I think he's
The Open was
coming in
the
severely
right
under the
tournament
radar.
for
he
Harmon to
rattles
win.
the
You don't
field
need
like
as
not
much
many
distance
people
in there.
can. But I have like a Wyndham Clark winning this week. I don't think from what I've heard, Valhalla seems like a pretty poor setup course for a major. And I just think it's gonna be Brooks or it's gonna be someone like Wyndham Clark or like who else could I put up there?
Can you put Cameron
people-
Young up there?
Yeah,
Could be a
he's not gonna
Cameron.
win because he's a loser, but like Cameron Young would be a guy who I think is gonna contend here this week and get to that spot before he comes back.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's gonna be something like that. Maybe a Richard Fowler.
No.
No way.
Where's he in my model?
It's not gonna be Richard
so
Fowler's fate.
56.
But Wyndham Clark's my pick to win. So
Okay,
Interesting.
that's a interesting.
If I was a week early on Clark, because I think 2 weeks ago I said Wyndham's going to win the PGA, and then I played him last week at Wells and he was terrible. And if he wins this week, I'm gonna be mad. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting debate between the top 3. I mean, I know Scheffler my whole thing is I think he's just not as sharp as he's gonna be. And if he wins this week, then he's just a robot. I declare him a robot and shut the season down. He's gonna
He's already
he's
a
winning
robot.
everything. So
I mean,
I
he
think
does
I think
have
he's
different caddy on Saturday as well, which is that's gonna be interesting
yeah.
too.
It's just there's too much going on for a human to win. Too much going on in his life. Where if he's a human, he's not winning this week.
Yeah.
But that's just my take on it. But I do have another quick one before we get into some other things. Pick the biggest name that Jordan Spieth beats this week.
The easy answer is Brooks.
Warden.
Brooks.
The easy
No.
answer is Brooks. That's the best chance, I think. Again, I think Brooks is gonna miss the cut if he doesn't like come in
Right.
top 3. But if you want me to speak on a more like literal sense based on what I believe, biggest name he wins based on odds.
Yeah.
Let me look
No,
it
or
up.
just based on like name. Like I was thinking a little bit about
Tiger
Rob.
Woods. Then
No,
actually, that's not a lock by any means.
That's a big name, Dan.
Yes,
fair.
Dan,
Fine.
you have to be
Fine.
specific.
Fine. Betting odds times biggest name.
Thank you.
Multiply them.
Um, oh, Lord.
OWGR, data golf ranking, all that kind
All
of
right,
thing.
I got a name.
I promise you, he's not beating Scheffler. Top 5 are out of the equation.
I have a name that Bob just said.
Really?
Mm.
Scheffler.
No, not him. I'm
Who-
gonna go out on a limb. Just my gut feeling. I think Wyndham Clark misses the cut.
Hmm.
Okay.
That is a pure gut feeling I have.
Yeah. Okay. Could see that.
Just a
When
gut
I
feeling.
thought of this question, my gut went to Rom.
Okay.
I think
And it's
Rom's gonna have a
interesting
week.
'cause
He's
he's been
too
quiet.
competitive of a person to be able to just like blow off what happened at the
Well,
Masters.
that's the issue is that if it comes to Saturday and they're both T22, you know which one's gonna go up and which one's gonna go down. And Spieth will finish T46
More
and Rom will
importantly,
finish
if
T8.
Spieth goes into the weekend T18 and Rom makes a cut on the number, you know which one's gonna thrust up and which one's gonna fall down.
Anti thrust.
Yes.
So-
I'm gonna go with it's not gonna be O'Bear. It's not gonna be O'Bear. I think he's gonna play well. He's not gonna
O'Bear.
Are we
win.
worried about the knee injury though? I mean,
He's not gonna win because of his injury, but he's like I think he took last week off as a precaution. I think he's gonna hit the ball just fine. He's not gonna feel completely comfortable, but he's gonna beat Spieth. Based on odds, I'd say it's Homer or Hovland probably.
Hmm.
Homer will probably hang around, so unfortunately, it's probably Hovland.
Yeah, I'd say Calvin over Helmet for speed to beat.
Which stinks because obviously you'd rather it be a little bit higher up the odds board. But yeah, that's what I have. There are also some questions in chat.
I know. Somebody asked about McCarthy.
Yes, let's.
I like Denny.
let's
Yeah, I
just
think
go-
he's just played well at comp courses and he's playing well generally.
Yeah,
Right,
one of
of
my
course.
friends tagged me in a tweet saying that he plays really well at comp courses, and I'm just like, I promise you, it's like not Denny's time.
Let's
Like,
see
if
something.
if Denny could finish top 10, sure.
Yeah.
Denny,
I
if
feel
Denny
like he
can't, if Denny can't get there at the Memorial, he's not getting there here.
or
I
Denny,
agree.
Denny
but
fits 2 of the 4 approach categories that I've been looking at.
yeah.
But I think he's a good like placement bet, Denny McCarthy.
Yeah.
Where is he in the model?
Or if you want to
19?
throw like an each way at him.
Yeah.
I want value if I'm betting Denny.
Do you see any of the live guys returning a tour when their contracts up? I mean, I think basically all of them will, besides maybe like Gooch. I can't believe Gooch didn't try and qualify. That's so.
What if
Gooch is
play-
literally the dumbest player on.
you know who?
tour.
Hey,
Well, Gooch
Jordan,
lacks some brain cells.
Yeah,
where's Patrick Reed in your model?
period.
Yeah, it might be tough because you don't have a lot of.
I
the
don't think he
data.
he doesn't have the length for this course.
45th.
Okay, he's been playing well at majors.
Yeah, but
recently.
I
Yeah, it's
mean, he's gonna play
quietly.
well at Masters and Opens. Like he doesn't have the length for the U.S. Open and PGA.
Yeah,
He really
that's
doesn't.
fair. But I feel like he's been quietly decent. Somebody asked, what
Yeah,
odds
but
would
like
you?
he could definitely win another Masters. Like his short game is just so good. Patrick Reed.
Russell Henley at 7 in the model.
Henley's a model. The models love Henley.
He is
Yeah,
consistent. I mean, it doesn't account for
Henley
winning, but
is
he's
like
consistent.
Fleetwood. It doesn't ever win.
Yeah.
There's just certain people that you can just like that person never wins.
Elise, do we have a FRL top 20 market this week? Because we dialed in for the Masters.
Yes.
All right,
Keegan.
I'll have to dive into that tomorrow. I like going into tomorrow. I let me say this. I'm all over Woods. I mean Mickelson over Woods this week.
Any guess who's last in the model?
Woods.
Who?
Phil.
It's Phil?
John
Is it?
Daly.
Oh, Daly.
John Daly. Oh gosh.
Oh, the pros are above him.
You bothered to model John Daly. Okay.
Somebody
Anyway.
Hold on,
He's
hold
in the
on. Let me look.
model.
It's like I need to look at something real quick. You guys can talk.
What?
But I need
Speaking
to-
of
Woods at 123, Mickelson 124.
nice.
How about someone? How about someone?
Nicholson contention on Sunday.
What are you gonna say, at least?
I was gonna say pick someone further down the board that you think might win. Could sneak in a win. So anybody
How far
that's
down the board?
has to be 50 or higher.
I think I probably have a 50 or higher as one of my picks. Let me look.
Mickelson to make the cut is plus 200.
That's value.
I'm gonna say, I think
I'm
Phil does
looking.
better
I'm
at-
looking for a daily miscut bet
That's probably not going to even be offered.
it's not offered, Bob.
Yeah.
because
last
I
in
would
the
place
model.
up to 10,000.
The books aren't that stupid.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
John Daly was about 6 Jack Daniels deep on the range with a cigarette in his hand today.
Michael Block
Yeah, Michael Block. Where's
is
he finished?
offered on FanDuel for minus 1,014.50.
Let me see something here.
Yeah, the Block.
That just made me
Block.
laugh.
He's not making the cut. Apparently, he's tied the course record at Valhalla though.
I did see that.
I think
Crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
Well, Batia won an AM here at Valhalla.
Tia will not
bad.
be winning this
At least
week.
One of
who's
my
your-
picks is longer than 50 to 1.
Who's your longer picks? I guess we could just go to your card.
Yeah.
and
Well,
look
that
it
doesn't
up.
have really longer picks on it because
True.
the longer picks
Yeah,
on it are
true.
like way like they were bet earlier. But if I had to add people, I would pick
I already used Clark.
Ben on
Yeah.
and Batia
Mhm.
and probably like Seagal. I mean, they've just been like playing so
Yeah.
well, and maybe Yager too. All been
Jaeger.
playing well. Well,
Jaeger's
Jaeger's actually,
on.
he's one of the few people that has like beat Scotty.
Yes.
Did I just
But
hear
that was
Bob
without-
wanted to
And
use
he's
Clark?
he's long enough too.
What?
Yager's
You want to
Yeah.
use Clark?
Yeah,
That
Can't
was
use
without
Clark.
I know.
Taylor Gooch
Sad.
wasn't in the field though, so it doesn't count. At Houston.
Taylor Gooch is not going to do anything. He's never done anything in a major, and I think Neiman is not going to do anything either. He's also like never done it. I know a lot of people are picking Neiman. I've seen a lot of people on
Yeah.
Neiman. He's never done anything in a major, and
Who are your thoughts on
the model maniac, showed he got like made like a really detailed, nice graph, and basically like the people that have won the majors usually have contended in a major before, but before they won, or like obviously won a major before they won.
so on that
except for like the U.S. Open, but even then, it's still like that one is like someone who is not contended could potentially like sneak up and win that one, but all the rest, especially like you've really had contended before.
yeah. What do you think of Bryson then? Because he fits those.
I love Bryson this week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bryson will probably thrust. He usually does.
and he played well at the Masters. I mean, usually like people that win the PGA also have like done really well at the Masters, like
Yeah.
the first major of the year. So like most of the winners have been like they had finished like top 20 in the Masters before winning the PGA. So that, I mean, obviously that might cut out quite a bit of people. but that definitely, like Bryson, definitely fits to someone who did well in the Masters and then could easily win here.
Yeah. I think Bryson's interesting this week because he didn't play too well in the live events since the Masters, but this is like a dream course fit for him, I think. Just bombs away. His 8-iron is everybody else's 5-iron, so that's helpful.
Especially since the rough's not that long, he can.
Exactly.
I mean, he can
just
he
wail
can hit
away.
8-irons out of rough that he's like it's just normal rough.
And the PGA recently has delivered guys that have won majors a lot. Like obviously Koepka's won a ton of them recently, but and then obviously Thomas only has the 2 PGAs, but Mickelson's a big major champion. Morikawa's got another major. And so it'd be fitting, I think, for Bryson to get number 2 at a place like this.
Okay.
Thoughts on Morikawa?
I also think Morikawa's a good. I mean, he's shorter, which is like with the rain, it's gonna not be as ideal because there's not obviously gonna be as much run out in the fairways. That being said, they also switched to zoysia grass from bent grass to kind of make the fairways a little bit more firm. But I still think just based on how much like there's been like a deluge of rain, like the forecast this year, the PGA has not had like great luck with the forecast, although they've also made some bizarre scheduling.
Well, there was a cancellation of Michael Block's interview today.
Yeah.
So. That was so funny.
I know. But I didn't realize the interviews were in a tent, so I guess that does
So
make sense
funny.
why they were interviewed. Because like Masters has everybody inside, you know, the nice like Masters like press room. And
Unlimited money, baby.
PGA was just like it's just like a tent, like
Yeah.
Morikawa fits one of my approach, one of the 4.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how he hung on at
Yikes.
Quail for so long because we saw him played with
But he-
Spieth days 1 and 2, right? And I think that driver just felt a little spinny. Like it's just a kind of a ball still kind of coming out of the heel a little bit too much.
He could play well. He ain't gonna win.
Yeah.
he's always like I will say that he's you know, a lot of times he's been like one of the best like major players over the last like 3 or 4 or 5 years. He's there a lot and often surprisingly there. So I just think he'll be there because he's just constantly been there in majors.
Yeah. Well, those are just some of the guys I was thinking about for triple double this week
We
because
should get into our place.
Intriguing.
Yep.
because Mr. Bob has taken a commanding lead.
Yes, I have.
Um,
And I
and- oh God. Okay.
What is
I just
Bob's
I
lead?
just I just looked at his plays for the week.
yeah. I'm ahead. I'm playing ahead. I'm trying to stomp on the throats and end this pretty quickly. Not even end it, just not finish last. I mean, I'd rather not have to take an SAT or whatever I'm made to do. If I did come in last, so which Jordan,
We got a lot of season left. We got
there,
3 months to go.
I am, but there's also not many. The thing that I have taken into account that you might not have is that there's not much money left.
Yep.
The signature events are practically over.
Couple
And
Travelers,
that's it.
couple majors.
Memorial.
It's Memorial and Travelers, and then it's all low purse events. So if I can
Well, I
make
think we've
my
agreed
money,
we'll do the first 2 legs of the playoffs.
I thought it was
Do we
just the
agree on that?
first.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We'll do the
Uh,
FedEx and the BMW.
Okay.
Yeah, but those are still like
Yeah.
not massive money events.
I thought they're 4 million purse to the winner.
It's not as big as signature, I don't think.
I think it is.
It's a
Or
little
it's
bigger.
darn
I mean,
close.
Rory just got you 3.5 mil.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Congrats to
I'm not
Rory.
worried. I'm not worried. I can catch you, Bob. I got a Scheffler use left. I got to get out of jail free card.
Yeah, it's true.
I just got to use it on the right week.
But you never know. We could go full Jay Spieth. Now these guys.
I'm just waiting to use him. He's not getting used this week.
I was talking to my friend about how, speaking of Rory is one of my picks. Let's go down the line. Rory, Reed, because I want to use a live player. And then Scam. I'm gonna use him. Just I think he'll finish top 20, and I'll get my money's worth out of him. But I was talking to my friend about Rory, and I was like, Rory's kind of the guy that like you'd expect to have a disastrous love life, like because he's just so like married to the sport that
That's
like
hilarious.
he's like
Uh,
he's not Scotty, where he is so grounded in a family life, but also has so much freaking talent that he can just do what he does. But he's also not Spieth, where he lets his family get in the way of his job. So, um, Rory is kind of the person that you would expect to have two engagement rings be taken off in his lifetime career. So, um, congrats to him on that, on the divorce. I'm sure many wins are to come for him.
Although he's the one who called it off, though.
Yeah, I know.
He's called off both of his.
Yes.
So is
So
he just
it's a Rory problem. Exactly. So, but could be scary for the golf world if it plays out the way that many Rory fans think it could. So,
well, because you know what happened after he broke it
yeah,
off with Wozniacki, right?
yeah, it was quite the run.
Yep.
And wasn't Aki's career kind of fell off a cliff after that too.
Yep.
So, not ideal for Erica or whatever her endeavors are headed for. But yeah, those are my plays. Dan, what are your plays this week?
well, I'm trying to decide between four
I can go. I can go down.
guys, so you go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, I'm going with two live guys this week. One of them is the one Elise did not like. I'm going Neiman.
Oh, I might be changing my pick actually.
Boo.
You guys have to have these set. There's got to be more rules next time.
No,
Like you
it's
guys
all
have to
good. It's all
set
good.
in
As
stone
long as it's before the
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just got to be
fine.
before the
It's
thing.
fine.
But if he
Right.
switches to Neiman just to front lead, that's
Oh no, it won't be Neiman.
It's fine.
I
You
just
can
heard
Neiman.
live, and I'm like, this would be the perfect time to use Mr. DeChambeau.
You
Of
already went
course,
Fat
yeah.
Reed,
You got to
but
use the live players at the majors because you can't
Yeah.
use
all
them
the time to
elsewhere.
use
Do I
Elsewhere.
take away Scam or Rory though? Probably Rory.
it's up to you.
I could definitely use Rory again.
I mean, I would personally take away Reed, but
Yeah, honestly, yeah, Reed's gone. It's Bryson.
Poor Reed.
Bryson over Reed.
I got you. Got you. But no, I'm going Neiman. Hasn't played great in a major, but he's playing the best golf of his life. He didn't play
that
that
is
bad at the
true.
Masters. T22, it's not the end of the world.
He cost
Um,
a lot of money.
yeah, I apologize for the loss of cash for y'all, but he's won 3 times in 2024. He's dominated the 54 tour. Yeah, going Brooks. Got to use him somewhere. Didn't use a live guy at the Masters either, so this is my first live gentleman off the board. He won last time out, kind of enough to, sway my attention. He's Brooks, PGA, simple as that. And the last one I was struggling with. I don't really love the top of the board this week. I think Bob kind of mentioned if one of the big names doesn't win, that he thinks someone, from the middle might come and snatch it. So picking who that is, I don't know. But I'm going Sahith. After a
Don't hate that at all.
long, yeah, after he hasn't played great as of late, but I also was considering Hideki. Gonna stay off Hideki. It's gonna be my second use for Sahith. Would have been my second for Hideki as well. Elise kind of did mention the injury issues with Hideki. I kind of don't want to have to worry about that. Um, Sahith didn't play well at Wells Fargo, but he fits every single one of my approach categories this week. He's got pretty somewhat decent short game, not a great short game. We're gonna need that this week. Hits it far, which we're obviously gonna need this week. Hopefully doesn't spray it all over the place because you're gonna have to hit fairways as well.
But you
But
can
yeah,
miss it a little bit more here
all
because of
righty.
the
Let's
graduated rough.
Well, that's
Um,
wonderful to hear if that does be the case. But I was struggling to figure out who to go with the other pick.
but
So I'm
I
gonna go
will
some.
say about Stigala is that he usually plays good on the traditional speed courses. So like your Augustas, your like Waste Management, like those, RBC. He plays good on the traditional speed courses, and this is not a traditional speed course. So that would be my only worry. But he is playing really well. So yeah.
It's a
But
crapshoot in that
I
middle
probably would have
range.
gone with Benyon or Batia over him.
I was looking at Patia, but I have already used him twice. I've already used Ben on twice
Oh,
too.
yeah. Then
I did see, but I do like Batia. I do. I didn't have him above Thigala, but I just kept on scrolling down at my little model thingy, and Batia is 50th, but I do think there's value on a placement for him. I feel like I'm talking like I'm Elise, but it sounds like we're in agreement there.
yeah, we are in agreement there.
Cool.
Nice. I am taking 3 big darts, and I am going for
You are
Mr.
now for now.
Wanamaker.
So good.
I'm going for Mr. Wanamaker this week. I'm leaving no bullets in the chamber. Kepka, enough said. This dude rips off majors like they're nothing. I think could very easily get his 4th PGA this week. Rory, same thing. He just put Xander in a, he did Xander dirty last week, and I think he's at some point he's got to win another major. And this kind of feels like the Rory, kind of the perfect like storybook Rory week. And then I'm going Xander because I said it before the Masters. I think one major too early, and I'm not a huge fan of this play because I think he's a little mentally drained after getting pummeled last Sunday. And he's not going to win, but second place money is pretty good money. And I think there's a lot of other places to use him. I think he'd play well at Pinehurst. He'd play well at the Travelers, which is a big event.
Yeah.
So
You can pretty much play Xander anywhere right now,
so I'm a
and he's gonna
little
play
like,
well.
Yeah.
I have a Xander use left too. Coming
yeah,
in hot end of the year.
this is more of a, I said I believed that the PGA was his week 5 weeks ago, and now I'm just trusting my gut, I guess. So I don't know. If none of these 3 win the PGA, then
Blame Dan.
I am in, because
Trouble.
I'm only up on Jordan by a little bit, and he's still got a Scheffler and a Xander in the tank. So I'm gonna have to start scrapping my way through like the Rocket Mortgage and the Wyndhams and stuff to make up some ground. But
Those are the diehard events. That's where the real cash is made.
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
The
I've been pretty good
grinding.
at those. Last week was just
Those are
tough.
the events. Those are the
Clark
events that Jay
Fowler and
Spieth
Batia not
doesn't show
playing
up
well.
to.
Hey, Colonial's next week, so
Colonial. I have Tom
God,
Hoagie.
yes.
Well, I've already played him twice.
you're done with Hoagie. I've used Hoagie.
yeah, I
Poke
have
rack.
too.
Oh wait.
But I mean, who knows? Maybe Zalatoris is relevant again. We're
Bob
still
hasn't used
for
Hoagie
Hovland
yet.
to start playing better golf. Cam Champ
What'd you
can
say?
always win.
You haven't used Hoagie yet.
I don't plan on using hockey.
Don't tell him. Hoagie's flushing.
You're not going to use Tom.
Yeah, Hoagie is flushing it actually.
No Tom Bogey Hoagie next week.
That would not be a bad play next week. He's
But
flushing it.
yeah, so those are my
I
3
wish it was-
plays. Got to get the Wanamaker in one of their hands, unless it's Jay Spieth, in which case none of this really matters. So
I'll take
Yeah.
SATs every weekend for the rest of my life.
At least, what about Hoagie this week for a placement?
Oh,
Did you hear
Did
me?
you not hear?
Yeah.
No,
I
wait,
think you
what?
At
cut
least
out a little
thoughts
bit.
on Hoagie for a placement this week.
Oh, I, I haven't really looked that much into Hoagie this week.
Interesting. He's
He's-
55th in my model, but he
He's
fits
ball
every
striking
approach.
well. What's his like? I don't know. He just doesn't make enough putts. It feels like ever. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I mean, you don't need to make a ton of putts this week. If you can make a bunch of pars and
right. I mean, I
Would
will
be
say the
huge
greens
for Jay
apparently are
Spieth.
they're not that undulating. They're very kind of.
he's
I mean, they're
actually
very
putted
small
well this
too,
year.
right? The greens are like 5,000 something square feet in total.
Best putting year of his career.
Who, Hoagie?
Is it Hoagie's? Yeah.
Does he have
Really?
a win?
Yes. No, he doesn't have a win.
No,
He's
he doesn't have
putted
a win.
really well
He
this
just
year.
have a win. Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
Is it Hoagie's week?
that's.
Well, I
I
think it's
don't-
interesting.
I
Nobody
don't
played
think
Mr.
so.
Thomas.
His short game sucks though, which is gonna be.
Justin
Is,
Thomas is a loser.
Mm. But
What
he
are you
has
gonna
two
say,
of these. I mean, this is like
I can't anymore with his putting. It's he can't like he pushes putts right, if on short putts a lot, like and chokes those, and then on other putts he just can't even like it seems like he can't even read the greens and they just
yeah.
it's like way off and it's like okay. I'm out on Justin Thomas.
He's been fine recently. The T5 at RBC is pretty good, but none of his like categories are elite. They're all just like pretty good. And I feel like you need to show a little more pop, like Jay Spieth off the tee.
How many
Yeah.
approach categories does Thomas fit?
What's up?
I'm just curious how many of the 4 approach categories he fits.
Yeah, I'm curious. What's he at in your model too?
He
I
fits.
thought he was below. I saw he below average a lot in longer iron
He fits
shots.
2 of the 4.
Okay.
And you said
So
Spieth
he's-
fits 3 of the 4.
3 of the 4. Thomas in my model is
Does Scotty fit all 4?
yes. Scotty fits all 4. I would use Scotty. I just don't want to use him this week.
No,
This is
I
the
don't think
worst
he
week
wins.
to use
No,
him.
I would use him. I would save him for Piners.
It's a lot more. It's
Yeah.
a lot more unpredictable.
Thomas is
Exactly.
11th in the model.
Well,
I
Yeah.
can see that.
does the model take into account the
Mita Pereira
shaking that the
choking.
field has when Justin Thomas is anywhere near the lead? Is
Don't
there
know.
some added pressure components?
Well, I can see that.
Does the model take into account
What was that?
the audio is destroyed?
Yes, yes.
The model doesn't like Rory's course fit, funny enough.
That's that. Then you're using the wrong comps.
Hey, that's the
I'm just
model.
saying.
Who's
'Cause
so
he's
is
won
Scheffler
4
won?
times at Quail Hollow. 4 times.
Well, there's a
That's
lot
like,
of courses in there.
Can you read
but you have to wait like Quail Hollow higher then.
Yeah, there's nine of the 35 rounds are Quail Hollow.
Okay.
Or
Can you rate-
35 years of tournaments. I used a lot of courses.
Can you go top 5 in your model just for the people?
Yeah, Scotty, Xander, Rory, Morikawa, and Fleetwood.
Mr. Fleetwood. I think Fleetwood wins the Open this year.
Any other select players you would like?
I mean, I guess you could see that, but he needs to like Fleetwood just doesn't. I mean,
I really hope
Doesn't
Hideki doesn't play well
win.
this week.
doesn't.
Yeah, well, it
win.
doesn't factor in winning, but I really hope Hideki doesn't play well because Hideki's 9th and he fits every single approach.
Oh
He was
wow.
hurt last week.
It's just so hard with Hideki because he's always like it's like
There's always something.
there's really high upside, but then there's
Yeah,
a horrible floor potentially. Like then you get nothing. Like that. He's
at
risky.
least if it
very
makes you
risky.
feel better about the model, it doesn't. The course fit it does not like Thigala. But I'm
Okay.
still picking him
Yeah.
just 'cause I think the floor is good enough for the floor.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm. Where does the model rank? Benny on and Batia.
Batia is 50th
Okay.
and Benon's 27.
Yeah, see, I would have. Yeah, but if you use Ben on twice, then
Yeah, I've already used on twice. I like Batia for a placement this week though.
yep.
I think I don't know. Are you guys gonna have a Batia placement maybe?
We're looking at top lefty.
Yep.
Ooh. What are his odds for top lefty? And who?
We haven't found a market yet. We usually there's usually one on some of the books
Interesting.
we look at, but
Yeah.
I haven't really looked yet. I've kind of been.
That's phenomenal. You could probably get very good value there.
I just don't think Harmon. I mean,
No, I like him. I like Batia more than Harmon.
it's so hard because he sometimes he just thrusts past the models, but
Yeah.
like he's so short off the tee.
Yeah. If this was an open, like, then I would be I would say Harmon would be
Well,
the
well,
best.
I'm putting my foot down on
Right.
Harmon at
Yeah.
the
Harmon
at
fits
the
3 of the
Open.
4 approach categories, even the long irons. He's been pretty good, right? Yeah.
That's not good for the top lefty bet by any means. Because it's tough to account for some of the things that Harmon does to get himself in the positions that he needs to
Yeah.
be.
No, that's very fair.
But yeah, someone said Cantley miscut. Interesting.
Hmm.
Chat. I'm not sure how I feel about that. What odds would you feel comfortable betting Spieth at? I think right now, I think 90-1 is fair. I think if this PGA is played 90 times, Spieth probably wins once. Maybe not actually.
I don't think that's available anymore, though. By the way,
Yeah,
Really?
people like the number.
it went down.
No. Well, it should have gone up.
They're
but
gonna get hosed on 90-1.
It
Yeah,
went. It went down. It went down now.
yeah, I mean,
People
I
like
wouldn't
the
touch
number.
him. I wouldn't touch him below 60 at all. I just don't
If
think.
you-
I just think he's making too many boats. He'd have to play completely different than we've seen him for 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Which we're not. I'm not saying it's impossible, but
No, he'd have to play. He'd have to have his
he has to
best
be a different
approach,
person.
a best approach week, best short game, and best putter week of this season.
This is my thought on the
For a
week. And
chance.
this is how I've rounded it out. He's gonna have to have 4 days of playing golf like one of the no names who first round leans at a golf tournament after playing like shit for weeks. Like just
Yeah.
pulling it out of their complete ass and just like doing it for 4 days. That's what he's gonna have to do. Which is
Doable.
not impossible.
He sounds somewhat
The
confident.
Chad Ramey first round leader path to the PGA Championship is not impossible, but it's not ideal either. So
No, it's not.
Just
But-
make
Any
a
other
lot of
thoughts?
putts and keep it in play off the tee.
it would be great if we could have like a Beth Page putting week.
Oh my god, that would be
That would
that
make
be
this
sick.
week exciting with the driver.
Oh man.
The
I
driver,
thought it'd
be
be fun
sick.
this week.
the driver's floor, I just don't think is low enough for the driver to be a liability this week. I think in no world is the driver a liability.
It's
this week.
embarrassing if it's a liability this week.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because that means he
Yeah.
choked.
So I mean you just make everything you look at, and it could be a chilling week.
He's lost strokes off the tee once in 2024.
Which
But he's
tournament?
also due
API.
for our putting.
API. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh, he's
this
also
is the second best off the tee year of his career to date. Behind just 2013.
Wow.
The problem is he's losing strokes on approach this season.
Yeah. That's
That
Big
does not
problem
surprise
there.
me.
brutal.
Big
We-
problem there.
Every
Well, it
time. I
starts
mean, how many times
8:37?
do we look at the app and he's like in the fairway? Then the next shot is in like 30 feet in the rough or in the bunker or like over the green. It's
Yeah. 96 feet to hole.
like,
Come on.
96
from
feet.
from like 130 yards too. Like
Yeah.
wedge shots. That should be a prime dart inside 10 feet. And it's just
Yeah.
it never is.
Very true.
Lately.
The dirt.
All right. I'd love to get before we wrap this up, everyone's just winner. We'll start with me since I said Wyndham Clark
Ooh.
already. Just winner. Who is your winner? I'm 1 for 1. I went with the very bold Scotty Scheffler pick at the Masters. So
Aren't we all one?
I think
for
we all
one?
did.
did we all pick?
Yes.
Okay.
Congrats to Schlaver on being 1 for 1 as well.
Yes. Congrats to him. Wait, no.
No?
Elise took. Was it
Oh,
Xander?
right. Yeah, I took Sander. Yeah.
Yeah, Elise took Xander. So that's her own doing. That's her own doing.
I'm going Brooks. Boring, but it's Brooks. Come
Okay.
on.
I'm going Rory.
Okay.
Nice.
Is that biased, Elise?
Maybe a little bit, but I don't.
That's
I also
fair.
just think that I think part of the reason why he might be maybe struggling earlier this year had something to do with some personal problems, and now he's
Yeah,
kind of
I that's definitely fair.
Some
trying to put
hashtag
trying to put
analysis
that
right there.
behind him, and he seems to be a little bit more
He
at
put
least
his foot down.
freed up. So yeah,
He put his foot down. Didn't let the woman in his life affect his job anymore. So
I got my
it's
pick.
food for thought. Jordan.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Who gets to 4 if they win?
Well, Brooks gets the 4 PGAs.
Yeah.
Spieth gets to 4 majors, but that's not happening. Brooks does get to 4 PGAs though.
Yes, sir. I did. I made a tweet at the beginning of the week, and I said after hours of whatever, and I underlined six in the first name, 6 in the last name, 4 trophies.
Yeah, I agree with Dan.
Makers to me, baby.
Let me be very clear, because I know Bob has to go. Spieth better not be pathetic this week. It needs to be at least a respectable effort. I know every card is stacked.
We have to
him.
see the Sunday fit.
It can't be
contention, please.
It can't be effing pathetic like it was at Augusta.
Yes, agreed.
Let me be very clear here. If he misses the cut again, just take the rest of the season off, get surgery on your wrist, and come back in 25.
Yep.
You can't go MC at the majors to start.
Nope.
Well, MC.
Yeah, you throw in ranch as well, and obviously Pinehurst is not scheduled
and
to
the
go
players
well either. And the players, yeah, he's really doing good in the big events.
The 0 for 4 in the 3 majors and the players.
Although he's always bad at the players, but
yeah, regardless. All right.
No.
Anything else, Bob?
That's all I got.
Alrighty.
See y'all Thursday.
We'll see you Sunday. We'll see you all Sunday night. For a while.
Come on. See, now he just lost. You can't do that. It's over now.
It's true.
You never know. Maybe Bob is the.
I'm to blame, everyone.
It's over for Jay Spieth and Arsenal.
Yes. Well, yes, these are both correct. These are
Bob
both
will be
correct.
to blame if we're having to watch JT win again.
Oh God.
Yes.
Congrats to Arsenal and Liverpool on both getting exactly the same amount out of the season.
Yeah. That's tough for y'all.
Actually, you guys got more out of than us.
We got a trophy.
Yeah, you
Just wait till Man United wins the FA Cup too. And then Arsenal.
Man United won't be in Europe, so
we'll have an FA Cup.
Yes,
we'll have
the F Cup.
Yes. We'll see. But yeah, that's all we got for you tonight. As I said, look out for the live notification.
I'm doing Anthony real quick.
Yeah.
Enjoy the PGA, everyone.
Yeah.